It's time now to check your money with America's money maven, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. Vicki, how are you doing? It's March. Spring is around the corner, baby.
Are you promising me that?
I am.
Okay, right. Because I do remember that, what was it, about 3-4 weeks ago, Ponchatompi, whatever his name is, in Philadelphia said we had 6 more weeks and we only got 4.
Well, wait a minute.
4 done, yeah.
Staten Island Chuck said spring was going to come sooner, so we'll see.
Neither one of them were diddly. Okay,
True.
But anyway.
True.
Listen, I do know one thing for sure, though, George. Last Sunday, on the 27th, when we celebrated our 14th year for the Black History Month Jazz and Arts Cabaret with Althea Renee. Can you believe her? Althea Renee.
I loved it.
Okay, and JJ Salvarino. We had an incredible time. For those of you who missed it, put it on your calendar for next year, the 4th Sunday in February, which will be our 15th year. You do not want to miss next year's performance, but this year was absolutely incredible. And George, you know what?
What?
We also have an incredible new event happening today on America's Money Maven.
Come on.
Recall about, I don't know, what, 4 or 5 weeks ago, we introduced Mr. Michael Jennings.
Yes.
Who is a wealth consultant. By the way, he got a promotion because he got a really big new license, and he probably needs to tell his friends and his family and everybody in Syracuse about this, because he passed one of the most intense exams possible in the financial services area. But Michael Jennings was introduced to our audience. And because I had for a long time questions coming from the audience about how do we answer, or how do we get our questions answered, I decided to make Mike the official individual under a new segment called the Friendly Neighborhood Advisor, so that everyone could send in their questions and make sure that on air we would select some of the most important ones or most intriguing ones to answer each week. So this is our first week, introducing the Friendly Neighborhood Advisor, Mr. Michael Jennings, who's going to be joining us this week and many weeks to come. So Mike, I know you're excited, and I want to hear from you exactly what type of questions we got for this week, so that we can start talking about those particular subjects. And then we'll also talk about a little bit later how to get in contact with you. But what do we have on tap for this week?
Absolutely. Now, we did get a few submissions. Some of the questions were more tailored to a more individual conversation. But there was one question in particular that really stood out to me, and I believe it to be a very important topic. So the question was, hey, Mike, as a young adult, I was wondering if estate planning would be something that I should be worried about at this stage. I've never really heard any of my family or friends discuss it much, so I'm not sure if it's important for me right now. And this stood out to me because I can relate to the idea. Even before I found myself in my current role, I also didn't discuss estate planning at length with many friends, family members. And it's understandable, as not many people are comfortable talking about that aspect of life. But I do want to address the importance of it, especially when it comes to our people. And in that, I found an article from CNBC that references survey data from caring.com. And that data states that only 27.5% of Black Americans have a will, which is one of the most basic measures of estate planning. And not only that, I was also surprised to find that from that survey that only 33% of US adults overall have a will in place. So this isn't just a crisis with Black Americans. This is a crisis for Americans, period.
Absolutely. Crisis for Americans across the board. So
yeah.
when you...
No, you go ahead. You go. Well, I wanted to echo that. That is something I was just thinking about. That, and one of the things that Vicki told us years ago, was it years ago now, Vicki? When you
it's
said,
years ago, George.
Right, you talked about the importance of wealth retention, and there's some very simple things that people can do to protect themselves, and that's one of them.
So why don't you remind them, Mike, of some of those simple things that the article pointed out?
Yes, absolutely. And to George's point, the critical point we're discussing here is the loss of wealth. Vicki, you and I are aware of this, but many people listening out there might not be. We are on the brink of an unfathomable transfer of wealth between the older generations and the younger generations. It's been estimated that there is somewhere from 30 to $60 trillion, that's trillion with a T, $60 trillion in the process of transferring between the older and younger generations. And as Black Americans, our people stand to be one of the groups that misses out on our share of the wealth the most. And that is partly because we don't utilize those legal structures that are essential in transferring wealth. Now, that includes basic things, like I mentioned before, having a will, identifying your power of attorney and health proxy, even keeping your beneficiaries up to date on your retirement plans and insurance policies. And of course, you have state taxes, final expenses, et cetera. But the point is that we are not doing nearly enough to ensure that our hard work is being carried over. And we're not going to reach that point of securing generational wealth, which I know is a goal for most of us as a whole. We're not going to reach that point if we keep losing it across our generations.
So, George, did you hear say younger and older generation? I think we're supposed to say baby boomers and
yeah, because
that older generation thing on me.
I was definitely thinking, but now who is he talking about and what age is he talking about?
Okay.
But
okay, back to a more serious, that was $1 trillion number, Michael?
$1 trillion.
With a T.
Okay, trillions of dollars are transferring between baby boomers, the older generations, and the millennials and younger generations over the next 15, 20, 30 years, but specifically in the next 15 to 20 years. So generational wealth is either going to be retained or it's going to slip through again. And we end up with what, Michael, that we don't want to have. I'm gonna see if George is gonna get it. We don't have.
I know what I got to say, but I want to hear Michael. No, Michael's the neighborhood advisor. Go ahead, Michael. What do we don't want to end up with? I want to see. I'm testing Michael now.
Oh, I say the loss of wealth.
Well,
loss of wealth. Okay,
but I got it. Let me just help a brother out.
Okay.
Zero, no more.
Zero, no more. We absolutely don't want to end up with zero, no more. Okay. So, Mike, okay, when we look at those legal structures that you were talking about, as far as wills and beneficiaries, and making sure that we have estate taxes in play and all the things that are necessary for that transfer of wealth, what would you say needs to be some of the first steps that should be taken at this point in time?
Well, you can call your friendly neighborhood advisor here at Brackens Financial Solutions Network. You can do that first.
Okay, all right.
And we can help you with all of your planning needs, and we can even connect you with professionals to assist with especially those legal aspects of estate planning. You can reach out to me directly at 315-748-5540. Again, that was 315-748-5540. Or you can also email me at michael.jennings@brackensfsn.com and on our website at brackensfsn.com/friendly-neighborhood-advisor.
Fantastic, fantastic. So when are we going to see you again, Mike?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, you got me back here again, so it's going to be a bit harder this time to get ready.
but before you go, what is the hard test that you just passed?
That was the Series 66.
That's the bigger one, right? That's okay. And I remember when we first had you on, there's a series of other tests you'll have, but this was the first one. So congratulations on passing your Series 66.
No, this is the last one.
Oh, the last one.
One.
Okay.
He came in with with many of the first, on that list that we have. But this was the last one.
Big deal.
Yes.
This is the last one for now. I'm still looking to get some letters behind my name. So
all right.
Okay. So some letters behind his name, but as far as the exams on brokerage and things of that nature, this was the last one, that we needed to have in place. So George, I will say, Mike, thank you so much. You were saying you will be back when?
I will be here the first week of every month to answer the burning questions that the listeners may have. So you can expect to hear from me again on Sunday, April 3rd.
Sunday, April 3rd. Okay. All right. And for those of you who didn't catch it, if you have a question and you want to get that question to Michael, be sure and reach out to him either through our website or through his email, which he gave to you and which is going to be down below. You'll see it, okay, in a second or two. And make sure that you ask the burning questions that you want answered so that at least on that Sunday when the friendly neighborhood advisor is there, we'll try and deal with questions that have a universal appeal for the listening audience and viewing audience here around the country. George.
Yes.
Last thing I will say is this. Did you watch the president on, what was it, Tuesday evening?
Tuesday evening
Concerning the State of the Union.
I saw some of the State of the Union, not all of it, some of it, yes.
Yeah, Mike and I were discussing this earlier as far as anything of monumental value there. And of course, what's happening in Ukraine and across Europe is of paramount importance at this point in time. But we were also listening for some of the domestic messages that were there. And what I would say is this, stay tuned.
Okay.
Many of those things have to go through legislation and have to cross through both the House and the Senate for actual approval. But some of the things that are going to come through for approval have direct impact in Central New York. And that's what I'm going to talk about next week, because we're going to need everybody to step up around some of the legislation. I just found out about very recently how that parses into the economic growth of Central New York. And so that's going to be our topic next week. At this point in time, I'll say, be sure and reach out to us there at info@brackensfsn.com. Go to your friendly neighborhood advisor or to America's Money Maven, and our plate is full.
All right. info@brackensfsn.com, 315-930-4499. Like, share, and subscribe. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. She is America's Money Maven.